Am I the a-hole for leaving my friend's girlfriend stranded in another city? Last week, I got a call from a friend asking me to drive her girlfriend into a major city in my country. He asked me because he knows I enjoy driving and I don't get nervous in packed traffic. Plus, the girlfriend barely drives and hates going into the city as there are lots of restricted streets and such. I told my friend my plan was reading a book that weekend, so he insisted a bit further, saying I was doing him a huge favor since he was out for the weekend, and that girlfriend would put her car so I didn't have to put unnecessary KMs on mine. After telling him I was just doing it because he asked and that I had nothing to do inside the city, I finally agreed. Cue Saturday. I go pick girlfriend early in the morning, we grab her car, and I see it has only half a tank of gas, enough to get us there but not for a round trip. She acknowledges it and tells me we'll fill it up in the city, whatever. During the 3-hour trip, she kept complaining I was going too slow and that she was going to miss an important appointment. I was going the speed limit the whole time. Once we got to the city, we parked in a repay and asked me to pay since she didn't bring any cash. Whatever. I wanted to go to a park and read while she was busy, but I had to run errands with her because she didn't feel safe in the city center on a sunny day. Whatever. She even got mad because I asked her to make a quick trip to the car to leave some bags because I didn't want to carry them, and told me her boyfriend always carried some of the bags, and it was faster. I started to get annoyed here and told her so. Once she got done with all she had to do, we went back to the car. But before I got in, she mentioned I still hadn't given her the money. When I asked her what she meant, she said I had to pay for half the tank as I had gone with her. I got mad and said I was doing my friend a favor, and I wasted my day just for her to buy random stuffs, and I wasn't paying. She said something like, either pay or you don't get in the car. I stormed off, tired and angry, while she shouted something like, yeah, you'll come back. I didn't. Got a train ticket and spent some 4.5 hours to get back home while my phone was blowing up with calls and messages. I turned it off. Got home and the next day, friend called asking what happened. Apparently some poor soul had to go pick her up because she wasn't driving home. I told him, and he said that girlfriend can be difficult at times, but I pulled a massive a-hole move leaving her alone at sundown. So am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You didn't leave her stranded. She had her car. She doesn't get to treat you like her personal assistant. And you were doing her a favor, and she was ungrateful from the start. The boyfriend always does it comment was ridiculous. I'm sorry you wasted your day with a spoiled person, but congratulations on most likely being the first person in her life not to submit to her demands. Best word in this comment. Spoiled. The girlfriend sounds horrible. I can understand what the friend probably gets out of the relationship, but OP is getting nothing out of it other than mistreatment. This goes without saying. Never help her again. They are both huge a-holes. Not an a-hole. They owe you a big apology. My friend actually have apologized, saying girlfriend was difficult at times, and he didn't do anything to me. I'm just not gonna do a favor for him anymore though. That's not an apology. Sorry is an apology. All your friend did was acknowledge that he was a crappy person as his partner. Take this as a lesson learned. Don't do any favors for this friend or his partner again. Yep, learned it the hard way. Maybe I'll speak to him after a couple days. It would be a shame to lose a lifelong friendship over it, but I'll expect an apology at least from him. Her, if you're not paying, you're not getting the car. You, okay, I'm not getting the car. See you later. Her, surprised Pikachu. Let's be very clear on this. You absolutely did not leave her stranded. You left her with her own car. Not to mention, where's half the money from her for parking if that's how she wants to play? You don't get to charge someone for gas who is driving you around as a favor. She sounds like a spoiled brat in nearly every line of this post. Not the a-hole. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for having flavored sparkling water at my teenage daughter's birthday party? Another mom accused me of trying to give her daughter an eating disorder. My daughter's birthday party was on Saturday morning. She's 13 years old. We just hosted it in our backyard. For food, we ordered pizzas, wings, garlic bread, tortilla chips, guacamole, salsa, pasta salad, and burgers. When it came to drinks, we had water, sparkling water, lemonade. So we have the birthday party. Everything is going well. One of the moms, call her Lacey, comes to pick up her daughter. Then she finds her drinking a LaCroix. She tells her daughter to toss the drink. Then she comes up to me and is like, "Why are you offering diet products to my children?" I'm like, "It's just sparkling water." She then flips out saying that her daughter does not need artificial soda replacement. She goes on to say that if I want to give my children eating disorders, I can do that, but not for her children. I was taken aback and just how aggressive she was, and I didn't feel like I did anything wrong. I was like, "Look, I have pizza, wings, and brownies. This is not a diet party at all." She then tells me I have no right to judge what is a diet product or not. She and her daughter both left. Also, she later posted on Facebook, I'm not friends with her, that some people are trying to push diet products onto children that aren't even theirs. For what it's worth, if my children wanted soda, I'm cool with them having it in moderation, but none of my children do. And it was just really odd for me too. Like, I have never heard of anyone say that flavored sparkling water is an artificial replacement for soda. Also, I didn't say anything to her, but it was extra odd because both her and her daughter were obese. So it's just extra odd they are accusing me of trying to give them eating disorders. Not a-hole at all. Seems to me like she was self-conscious of her own issues and decided to attack you for it. I think it was clever you had sparkling water. You also had other options for drinks. It's not as though you forced her child to drink sparkling water. I appreciate it when water is also available at parties. I can't quite quench my thirst with sweet drinks. I also like water as an option, though I have no problem drinking sweet drinks. Water and tea are almost always available. Don't let this eat at you too much. Not a-hole. That lady has serious issues. Sounds like she's already got an eating disorder and is passing it onto her child. Also, the idea of diet water is really funny to me. Like, the default is Mountain Dew, and water is diet hydration. Not a-hole for offering sparkling water. The young lady had a choice. That's what she chose. Personal informed choice is a protective factor against eating disorders. I think Mama is defensive about her size. You might be the a-hole for getting us all salivating over the party menu. Not a-hole. What the hell is an artificial replacement for soda? Soda is not a natural product. There are no soda trees or natural Coke springs. That would be like calling Dr. Pepper an artificial substitute for Coke. What a nut job. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend to leave over my weird obsession and to never come back again? I've been thinking about posting this for a while, but I've held off. Around 2 weeks ago, I invited a few friends over to my house to chill and hang out. Now, in my friend group, a lot of them think that I'm weird because I collect things. But for me, it's an investment. I have a specific room where I have tons of old video games, dolls, baseball/football cards, and antiques that easily total over 100,000. And since prices keep rising, I keep collecting things I know will be valuable later on. I have this really cherished antique that I, in all my trading, both buying and selling, have never even considered anything to do with it. An incredibly old Springfield 1861 musket, bayonet included. It was passed down from generations ago and I still have it. One of my friends asked me what valuable junk I have, and I decided to turn up my ego and told him that I had a genuine 1861 Springfield rifle. None of them believed me, so I told them that I would go up, take a picture, and bring it back down. The guy who asked said that wasn't enough, and that it could have been faked, and then thought it was his personal right to practically run to my room without my permission. We all practically chased after him to stop him, and right as he entered the room, he tripped over a bunch of baseball cards and smashed 3 pots that totaled around $6,000. I told him to leave immediately, and that I didn't want to talk to him again, and that I was going to press charges. I still hold it against my friend for getting into the place when I told him no. A lot of other friends are saying that I was way too harsh with it, that it was an accident. I then told them that it was his fault for entering when I specifically told him not to, and that those items were worth a lot to me. Sentimentally as well, since I'd had them for over 10 years. They've been telling me I need to stop the legal action. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. He entered your private property without permission and destroyed $6,000 worth of property. I would say if he doesn't pay it of his own accord, there's nothing wrong with legal action. $6,000 is a lot of money to be out because someone completely disrespected your wishes and space. But you're gonna have to prove that what he destroyed was actually worth that amount. Might be tough. Luckily, I have cameras and broken pieces, so hopefully I can prove that. That's a good start. But you'll probably have to get a certified valuation on the items to provide a judge. Also, I would tell him he can avoid legal action if he pays you back within, 30 days maybe? You get your money and he won't get a judgment. I really don't blame the friend for refusing to pay $6,000 without any proof of value. Opie, please get the broken stuff evaluated before pushing this further. If it were me, I'd be offering to pay for it immediately, but not without any valuation. Not today, Hull. He continued when you told him no. Any antique store would have a policy of, you broke it, you bought it. Based on your post, I am left to assume that you are a responsible antique and collectible owner, so all items are insured. He owes you the deductible in your insurance claim. If he refuses to cover the deductible, you have no option but to sue him for that value. Info. Opie, is your room organized? You're a collector, so I'm assuming your cards should be filed, and vases and cabinets are in protective packaging. You say that he tripped as he entered. If your baseball cards were in the box in the doorway or piled on the floor, it's likely to be classed as accidental damage, and it might be an insurance claim for you. Or not a claim at all, rather than a claim against him. Basically, if it's investigated and it deemed a hoarding situation rather than a managed collection, then you could end up finding yourself in a bit of a sticky situation, both with claims and also with fines from fire marshals, etc. Now, for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not quitting the guild with my husband? We have been married for 12 years, together for 15. Up until the events of the last year, I was not really big into video games or gaming. But with being locked up in the house and not being able to really do things that we normally did together, my husband got me into online gaming with him. Normally, my husband is a very quiet and reserved person. But when he games, it's like a switch flips and he just becomes a different person. My character is low level, so he does runs with me on a different low level character he has so we can play together. Last night, we did a dungeon with a group of people who were new to our guild or just made new characters, also low level like me. The healer was not good as he is still learning, and my husband lost his mind because we kept dying. Slamming his fists on his desk, yelling in Discord, the works. It was really annoying to me. I am the type who, when we die, says keep going until we get it. He is the type who gets enraged and yells. We have had multiple conversations about this. I have told him repeatedly that his attitude/behavior ruins the game for everyone, but he just says if people didn't suck, he wouldn't get so mad. Last night, I absolutely had it with his yelling and cursing. I play these games to relax and have a good time, and I find it irritating that we cannot have a single session without him acting like this. So I mentioned it to one of my online friends, who is also in our guild, and they agreed that my husband's behavior was problematic. Our GM messaged him and told him that he was getting complaints about him and basically said he was on thin ice, and if he kept it up, he would be kicked out. My husband basically told him that he didn't care and quit, and then demanded that I do the same. I told my husband that I was not going to quit, that his attitude and behavior are the reason people, including me, do not want to play with him, and that if he wants to continue this hobby together as a couple, he either needs to get therapy for his anger issues or we need to find a new game to play that will be less rage-inducing for him. He called me a traitor and is now saying that he doesn't want to play games with me anymore. Am I the a-hole for not quitting too? Not the a-hole. Sounds like your suggestion of therapy is a really good idea. Anger like that at a video game isn't normal or healthy. Edited to add. So I feel like I should say that getting angry at video games is part of the experience. Sometimes a very deliberate choice from the designers. But the level of anger we are hearing about while someone is leveling an alternative character, as opposed to end game progression or elite PvP, makes the level of anger and the way it was expressed beyond what I would consider normal. Some of the comments here are great though, in terms of most rage-inducing experience in games. Mine is being in the water temple in Ocarina of Time for 6 hours. Easy to say that until you miss a 3-foot putt in Tiger Woods' '08 and you lost a $20 bet. And have to clean the bathroom because your roommate's absolutely played out of his mind. Damn you, Drew. I'll never forgive you. You rat bastard. Not today, Hull. Your husband's behavior does nothing to help. Significant other is a raid leader, and I know he gets frustrated. But instead of screaming and banging his fists, he calmly asks for feedback and offers ideas for why something went badly and how that can be resolved. Because it is an effing video game, and you can razz your character. Your husband's attitude is awful, and he shouldn't care about being out when he thinks he's so much better than the rest of the guild. If this is WoW Classic, you're Alliance and want another friend, DM. This is how I feel. It's a game. It's fake. It has zero effect on real life, except for when he starts getting angry. If we die, we die, and then try again. I honestly do not care that much. Not today, Hull. GM was more than fair. Husband decided to rage quit. None of this should extend to you. He needs to sort out his anger issues. Games are supposed to be fun. Info. Just for my own curiosity, what role is your husband's character? I'm assuming it's either tank or DPS? He plays a tank. I play mage. His low-level character is a mage like mine.